G'day guys, and welcome to another episode of Comics to Movies and More. I am your host, Sean Keenan, who has been away for quite some time. I am back. I am feeling much better. I thank everyone for sending me some love. I have been sad and disappointed that I haven't been on the show, but I'm feeling great and looking forward to speaking about what's been going on behind the scenes and all that. Before we get started, just want to say, if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, please smash that subscribe button to be notified when we launch each and every Sunday night at 10 p.m. moving forward. And as always, my co-host Stephen is here. How you going, mate? How have you been? And thanks for covering for me for so many weeks.
Oh, look, the main thing would be is, I never underestimate the work you do because I had to click all the buttons this time. And if you do watch the streams I did before without you, I'm always, okay, I need to click this. And yes, I've screwed up quite a few times in the clicks. I'm free to admit that. The sound didn't work at one stage, and thank God I didn't lose the stream though, which my biggest fear was clicking the wrong button, closing off the StreamYard, and then suddenly going, oh gosh, I've lost the stream, or if I lost the guest halfway. So that was my biggest fear, and thank God that didn't happen. So
it's so funny that you say that, because if anyone watched until the very end of the very special episode that we had last Sunday with Dan Furigal, I actually clicked the wrong button, left my guest live by himself before I realized, and had to jump back into the StreamYard broadcast to apologize and then end it properly. So
you did what I've never done.
Yeah, lucky Dan, he's great, and he was super cool in regards to carrying on the show without me, and I did realize quite quickly, so it wasn't too long, but I was just like, that's the joys of going live sometimes. So just want to give a shout out to everyone that's been watching. Moira said Stephen did a great job. Yes, you did, mate. Yeah, you left down on the screen. It was awesome. Yeah. So I did do that. I'll probably never live that down. He did message me afterwards and give me a little bit of a ribbing in regards to that. But yeah. So tonight's show is a little bit informal. We're going to talk about the Disney Plus series Loki. So if you haven't seen that, we'll try and be as spoiler-free as possible. But we do think it has been out long enough that a lot of you would have seen it or seen the majority of it. Hoping so anyway. On top of that, we will be talking about the successful end of Terralympus Volume 3, which was phenomenal. And I've got a little bit of a exclusive for you guys tonight. We've got a very special video, which is a catch-up trailer, which will show XCT up to the point of the current issue, which we're going to launch later this month, which is another anthology within the XCT universe. So we've got a trailer to kind of catch people up, and I'm super impressed with it. Dan Furigal's brother Nathan has done it, and as always, it looks phenomenal. So what do you reckon, Stephen? Should we get into it?
Yeah, sure. So look, I've actually shared one link out. Number one, actually, that was by accident. We went to show it a little bit later. See, we're already making mistakes here. But we'll come to that link afterwards, because it actually does tie into the Disney Plus series quite a lot. But firstly, though, if you can get the link up to the Terralympus Kickstarter, look, number one, a huge thank you. Like, it's incredible. We've hit close to 400 backers. We hit close to 12K. And look, and it's you guys, everybody on the stream, anybody who supports us. And we thank you, because it allows us to keep telling that story. Because if we didn't get the support, we might have to end on one volume. But it's because everybody keeps coming back, keeps helping us out. And look, I can't thank you guys enough. So And this is a story that actually Shaun initially had the initial concept with. So I've been always grateful to be able to work with him on this. So it's incredible. So thank you. And I can't thank you guys enough. So really, really appreciate checking us out and supporting. And even the people who didn't pledge, I know a lot of you shared the link around, got the word out. And, that's also really much appreciated. Shaun?
Yeah, it's been fantastic. I know we set hard and fast goals for ourselves in regards to being creators and always trying to do better. But I do feel this time around, with everything that's happening with COVID, with us actually running more Kickstarters more regularly, the support on this was absolutely amazing. So and on top of that, there's been some really big projects on Kickstarter lately as well. So I just want to thank everyone that has supported the Kickstarter. Whether that was sharing links. I know a few people had messaged us both directly and saying that they couldn't financially support it, but they shared the links around, and that's just as fantastic as backing, because when we're busy as well with our day-to-day stuff, it's always nice to know people are sharing the links around for us. So thank you very much. It's been an absolutely crazy journey on this one, but volume 3 I think is going to blow everyone's socks off. This is where the action starts.
Yeah. Look, and I've shared the I don't know if you guys go through the process, but we actually have a beta PDF that we share internally, and that's the one that the lettering is not formalized yet. We can change things, and things can be adjusted a little bit. So the entire main story is about 46 pages. That's just the artwork. That's excluding the sketches and all the rest of it. It's about 46 pages, of which about 13 of them are action. So in terms of action sequences, it accounts for slightly over 25%. So I've shared that with Shaun, and I love it, because we can finally have the conflict we've been building up 2 volumes for. And really great to see you here, Ruben. So thanks for dropping in as well.
Yes, and Maura says she's excited to see what happens next. Yeah, I think the one thing that we talk about a bit when we talk about creating a universe, and that is if it's just a total action-packed story, like Berserker, for example, you can kind of start off with full-on action and kind of build into the story and universe, because it is mainly based around the action, where Terralympus is more of that conspiracy theory, what's going on type of story. So it takes a little bit more of a build up, but I could tell when you were writing this one that you're excited to go, okay, let's get into the action now, and kind of get the guns and everything firing.
You gotta pop up Sassy Girl's comment. We can fix this post, but
yeah, trust me. I've spelled Disney wrong, have I? Yep. That's thanks for that, Sassy Girl. Yep.
We'll fix it afterwards. We promise.
I will fix that afterwards, because that'll affect our SEO rating and when people and stuff. So, yes.
Oh, so if we can bring up the final thank you to everybody. It's fantastic. Look, we really appreciate everything. But let's talk Disney Plus, and it's the reason we want to talk Loki a little bit, because Loki was out of all the Disney Plus series, Loki has been my absolute favorite until What If. And I have to say, currently, What If is blowing it away for me. Because I like that Disney is actually getting. That's one reason I would say I enjoyed the Captain America Winter Soldier one, the Falcon and Winter Soldier. I enjoyed that series, but it wasn't as good as the rest, because the rest have gone crazy. Like WandaVision had the whole format change. where it's sitcom, and I knew there were complaints about it in the beginning, going, it's not quite. But the fact that they took all this risk with it, and even what WandaVision did, which was absolute crazy ending and all the rest of it, and then Falcon Winter Soldier felt a little bit more formulaic. It's the standard. You could see this as an extended, like an extended Captain America movie. If they trimmed some bits, made it tighter, it could have been like a normal Captain America movie. But something like Loki, God, they took it then the next level where they just go, it's crazy, it's weird, it doesn't make sense. And if it did make sense, it doesn't quite make sense, and all the rest of it. And I loved it. And that's why I even like What If a little bit more, because What If just goes, you know what? Forget any canon, any backstory. We're just going to throw out some. And if you haven't seen the last Doctor Strange one, and I won't spoil the ending for you.
Wow.
Oh man, that's hard. It's a absolute heartbreaking. So
it's pretty depressing, that one, man. I was watching that because I've been watching a few with Peaches, and she's like, "Oh, I don't want to watch this one. I'm gonna watch something on the iPad or whatever before she was going to bed." And I sat down and watched that and was like, I'm lucky. I'm glad she didn't sit down and watch that one. I was like, that was pretty dark and pretty brutal. But the What If series has been phenomenal.
I love that they could do that. And the thing is, the first two What Ifs, and again, not spoiling anything, but the first What If was that's the Captain Carter one, was a little bit formulaic. Sure, they swapped the roles. Steve Rogers became the sidekick, and Agent Carter became, Captain Carter. So, but if you watch it again, not spoiling the endings, it is a little bit formulaic, and because it ended on as almost the exact same beat as the first Avenger, it almost ended on exactly the same beats. But the other stories as they develop, man, it's like, you know what, we can end sad, we can end depressed, and having those type of stories, I always think are exciting because it pushes the boundary a lot more. Can you? And one reason I showed this was, and look, I'm going to be Shaun knows I collect Lego minifigs as well, and I love this. You got the, if you can bring up the link that I shared before, which I actually shared in the chat a little bit too early. But
in your excitement,
in my excitement to show Shaun, I actually shared it in the chat a little bit early. But you can see it. This is the coming in October. And look, Disney, this is not a paid advertisement. Lego's not giving us anything for this. But how cute are they? You've got the Winter Soldier in there. You've got the WandaVision minifigs in there. And you've got Loki. And you've got the What If stuff in there. So I think it looks really cool. And if, as a minifig collector, I'm so tempted. Like, I actually wanted there's about 8 figures I want out of the 12, but if you're getting 8, you might as well get the whole set. So I'm actually really excited about this. I'm trying to convert you, Shaun, to start collecting Lego minifigs. It hasn't worked yet, but it's a dangerous addiction.
No way. My wife will absolutely kill me if I start collecting anything else. I've still got to go through my poster collection. I've got, I reckon behind me, I've got about 200 posters. All daybill size posters and everything like that I need to go through. If I started bringing home Lego and other stuff, I think I'd be told to find a new home. So that's one thing I definitely won't be doing. But getting back onto Loki, I loved it. Really played into his character in regards to, you didn't know whether he was actually, was he manipulating? Wasn't he manipulating? Who was playing who? Even when, he seems like he was going on the straight and narrow, there was still like little points of going, is he just playing the person here or whatever? But, I was really intrigued with that. I waited until the whole season had dropped before I'd started watching it. And I'm kind of glad I did, because like I watched it over a couple of nights rather than 6 or 7 weeks. So I was really impressed. And then the ending just ties into what's going to happen with the next Doctor Strange and Spider-Man one. But damn, the Spider-Man trailer, how good was that? So I know we're going off track here, but damn, I saw that, and it's the first time I've been like really excited again from about a movie type of thing. So yeah.
Oh, look, I'll talk Spider-Man trailer, then we'll go back to Loki. But the Spider-Man trailer was, I loved it. The only thing that I'm a little bit cautious of, and they've done it well. Like, for example, Captain America Civil War was actually a Marvel comic storyline, as you know. And this Spider-Man one, it was, I think, one day more or one more day. I can't remember how it was.
Brand New Day?
Oh, no, this is before. Brand New Day was after. This is the one, I think, one day more, one more day. Again, somebody in the chat will probably get me the correct title, that somebody always does. But that was when in that particular one, they used Mephisto as the wipe Spider-Man's identity from everybody's head plotline. And that was really badly received because they, the whole part about Peter would never make a deal with the devil, it was really out of character to do so. And I think you hear a lot of controversy coming up now where they were saying, it's not something that Doctor Strange would do, but then it actually, if you think about it, the guy's arrogant. He's meant to be. You know what? I've just stopped Thanos. I've done this. Yeah. And then there's, that whole when Wong's walking out in the portal, and then he winks, "Don't you dare use that spell." And then he's going, "Yeah, I'm going to." I love that. And I hope they do it right, because when they adapted the Civil War plotline for Captain America Civil War and World War Hulk into Thor Ragnarok, I think they did a really good job in getting the best elements from those storylines across. And I'm really hoping they get the best elements across here. But back to the Loki one, oh man, it's in terms of absolute craziness, it was fantastic. You just want Mobius to get on the jet ski, though. That's the one thing that didn't happen. And you just want it to happen. You say Mobius just needs to get on his damn jet ski. Give the guy his arc.
I know. I like the fact that the different Lokis as well. I thought that was quite cleverly done in regards to using variants, and then because they could have easily just used Tom on and done every single variant as Tom and just had him look a little bit differently or whatever. But to actually get different actors and everything to be Loki, I thought that was really fantastic and really well done, type of thing. So I'm really excited to see what they come up with in season 2 and how that kind of plays out. And there's just so much Marvel stuff like kind of coming out now. It's going to be you're going to need to make sure that you kind of keep up with all these shows, because they're going to be so entwined, and especially with this multiverse one, it'll be interesting to see whether building up to the next Avengers movie, whether they this is the Krang the Conqueror is the big bad guy, and that type of stuff, and whether the movies start to go separate again, or whether they're going to continually tell stories with a big bad over 6 or 7 films or whatever. So
I know they're going to introduce we don't 100% know when it's going to be Kang, but like they teased Thanos very, very early in the original MCU, if you remember. So they've teased him here. Look, I hope so, because in terms of Avenger villains, he is one of the big bads. I think it'll be really interesting. especially if they did the whole, and they're starting to do all that what if Loki and the whole, and even WandaVision had a little bit of that multiverse thing to it, that it could be really fun that in the you know how with Endgame the big scene was basically every hero coming through. They could really amp it up with every hero from every dimension coming through this time. That could be I think that would be awesome. Imagine that. It would be on a scale that's like 10 times as large as the Endgame scale if they went that whole multiverse plot line, which they are, but it absolutely looks like they are.
Yeah, and then on top of that, just the introduction of mutants soon as well. Like that's kind of got me really exciting. Like how are they going to kind of tie that in? Then you've got Young Avengers coming through. It's just like it's really exciting to see how much they're actually building out this universe in live action type of thing. And the only one thing I will say is, man, 6 episodes, really? Only 6 episodes? I've gone, I think if you're going to do a TV series, at least do 10. Do 10 episodes. Like 6, I think is just like, it's like a tease. You might as well just do a movie if you're going to do 6 episodes. But no, like that's just nitpicking, really. Other than that, I really, really enjoyed it. I think just by the time you get to 6, you've really sunk your teeth into not only the new characters that they've introduced, but you're starting to get involved in the storyline, and it kind of finishes. I feel like 6 episodes is like a floppy at the moment. They entice you in. You read it, and then you're like, no, you have to wait a year to get the next one.
Because it didn't really conclude. There wasn't a real big conclusion in Loki.
No.
And again, no spoilers, but it doesn't really conclude. But look, we've got a very important question that I've had to ask you. And I'll show you the 2 comments coming up soon. That would be really interesting. But Scarlet Witch, I don't think will be the villain. She's always been the hero, and I don't think they'll take her down that whole dark arc personally. But who knows?
No more mutants.
Yep.
3.
Okay.
That we'll see if we get to that stage. If she whispers those 3 words,
it might be reversed. It's come back mutants because anyway. I'll show you 2 comments, and before you answer, just read the 2 comments, and then you gotta know. I need to know where you lie because this could depend on whether I do the show from here on in. That's how important this question is going to be. Croaky or Loki Gator? Again, Croaky or Loki Gator?
I like Croaky.
Okay, that's it. I'm out. I'm out. It's done.
Is he a crocodile or an alligator?
They didn't really specify. Again, somebody were probably in the chat. And thank you, Sazigal, for the research. Yeah. Look, the chat is so awesome. Like we throw questions in the chat because sometimes we talk about stuff we don't really know, and the chat gives us the answers. So thank you, Sazigal, again for giving the answer to that. It was one more day. Not 1 day more. But I don't think, and again, if somebody in the chat can correct this, I don't think it was actually specified whether he was a crocodile or alligator. If it is, please let us know which one wins. I always thought it's an alligator, hence Loki Gator, but we can see if we can find out. I also liked it that in a lot of the teasers you saw President Loki, but in the show he really lasted the whole of 10 minutes. President Loki variant was very prominent. He was really prominent in all the trailers, all the build-up, and all the rest of it. But man, he turns up and he's out within about 10 minutes.
Misdirection. That's the clever thing about misdirection. So, but I do find it, going on to my Star Wars drop that I seem to do every show is that they've got the Star Wars Visions, which is kind of the what if in the Star Wars universe. And they're bringing out a Japanese animation style series based in that kind of universe. So I'm super excited to see that as well. The trailer for that is phenomenal, and I watched it behind the scenes with some of the creators that got to tell their stories within that universe. And the Jedi's always have had that samurai feel. So I'm excited to see what they kind of bring to the table and expanding that, or just creating a completely different timeline within the Star Wars universe as well.
Oh, look, I'm also, again, we always seem to veer a little bit to Star Wars, which is good.
Could be an alligator.
So it's a Loki gator, not a crook. Anyway,
Lucky gator, yeah.
Yeah, but I really like that the Star Wars, especially with how well the Mandalorian happened, is the branch out from the Mandalorian. It's also so exciting. You've got, and again, none of this is all locked in place, so it's a bit of rumors and whatever. So take this as you will. But we definitely know Boba Fett has started filming. Finished filming?
Finished the other day. Yep.
Brilliant. So we know it's definitely coming. The Ashoka one I know has been greenlit. I don't know whether they started filming or not.
Not yet.
Mandalorian 3 is because Pedro is filming The Last of Us somewhere in Canada. He's got a contract with a Netflix contract there. So he hasn't started Mandalorian 3 yet. But as soon as he's...
Plus they needed Tamara Morrison as well, because he's in every single show, whether it's him as Bubba or a clone or whatever.
Oh, gosh.
He's gonna be busy for the rest of his life, I reckon.
But that Star Wars expanded, so post Return of the Jedi universe, it is so exciting. I'm chomping at the bit to see more of that. And you know that Luke exists in that universe as well. And this is Return of the Jedi Luke, who's absolutely near the... He hasn't reached the level of power yet that if you read the Dark Empire and those comics, he hasn't reached that level of power level yet. But you can kind of see he's getting there. He's on his way there.
The real interesting news I saw was that there was news or rumors, or again, take this with a grain of salt, that they were seeking his approval to approach Sebastian Stan to be a young Luke Skywalker, to actually recast him as a young Luke Skywalker, so that they could actually do some more stories or have him make cameos on other series or whatever. So that would be super, super interesting. So, when they redid and got rid of all the Legends universe, I said I was not going to collect any of the comics or books or anything. I was only going to watch the films. And since The Mandalorian, I've started, collecting all the comics, and now I've even gone back as far as collecting the ones that have come out back in 2015 onwards. So, I've been sitting down starting to read some of those and some of the other characters that are, canon, but you haven't seen on the live action scene yet. And there's some really good characters that I never knew about. So, hence why I hadn't read them. So, they're going to, I guess, pick and choose, kind of like what Marvel has done with the stories from Legends, and then put their own twist on them, type of thing. So, but I've hijacked this with Star Wars again, haven't I?
That's fine, because I do want to share this. Let me try this. There is a link I put in. If you can pop that link up, it's a Google link for people who don't know what Sebastian Stan looks like. And just want to show that the resemblance is uncanny. So if you pop that link up that I sent. It's so great. I don't have to click the buttons now. I can just go pop the link up.
Sean, do it.
It's
Do it now.
fantastic.
What's taking you so long?
I thank you for pressing the buttons because, oh man, I always keep thinking I'm going to press the wrong ones, forget to click different things.
Yeah, let me make that full screen, and yeah, you can see.
There you go.
He looks very, very similar to a young Luke Skywalker. So yeah, and then this is just people photoshopping his face on it. So if they actually, took some time to actually make him look like it, I think would be very, very cool. So
I'm pretty sure Sebastian Stan has a Marvel contract already, doesn't he? So I mean, sorry, not Marvel, a Disney contract already.
Yes, yeah, I don't know how that all works. There's been big things going on in regards to Disney and a lot of creators, whether they're signing contracts with Disney. I just read an article today in regards to the Russo brothers are very hesitant to sign anything with Disney at the moment due to the legal battle with Scarlett Johansson and what's going on in that field. So it'll be interesting to see. So
because I think some of the issues that having with Pedro Pascal, because he had a Netflix contract to film The Last of Us, and hence why just one of Nerd's comments why Mandalorian 3 is being delayed because he can't come back until his filming is done. But you think because Sebastian Stan, if you guys don't know, he's also Bucky. So if they took him out of the MCU to film Disney, will it jeopardize? I don't know how the franchises work and how the contracts do. But again, without going too much into it, again, we're not lawyers here, but I think one of the biggest things with Scarlett was, she was meant to get a huge revenue from the box office. Again, from what I've been reading, her main revenue was a cut of the box office. But I believe she was arguing because Black Widow never really had a chance at the box office because you dumped it straight to Disney Plus. I don't think she had a cut off the Disney Plus. You paid the $20 to get the movie. I don't think there was a cut there. So that cut was always going to be a lot less than the box office cuts. So I don't think she was happy with how it was released. And I think she's saying, you know what, you guys released it and I was basically screwed over my revenue. So
it's not. It doesn't.
Was there more to the story?
So, I don't think they thought the Disney Premiere access would have done as much as it did. But it supposedly did $90 million in the opening weekend. So whatever it did at the box office, which I think was, maybe 180 or 280 million or whatever. I don't know the exact figures. It did considerably well on Disney Premiere. So I do find it interesting. Hence, Stephen, you and I are both in lockdown. I went to watch Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings this week and did a little bit of research and found out that it is not on Disney Plus Premiere. And they are waiting the contracted length of 45 days before they allow access on Disney Plus Premiere. So I find that quite interesting that, there's a court case going on at the moment in regards to what's going on. And, they now, another movie's been released and rather than doing the same thing, they've just made it available in cinemas. Now, is that to cut their nose off to spite themselves? Because there's a lot of places in the world that are still in lockdown, like especially all those people that are in lockdown for just the 14 days or whatever. You've got a captive audience that, is unable to spend money other than online. Is it worth just sharing a little bit of the profits with the people that have are making you so much money? But I don't know.
Look, I don't know. Again, we don't have Scarlett's contract, so we don't know. But I definitely know the box office. Like it's always the same. They put the bulk of their earnings on the box office revenue, not the DVDs, not the premieres, not the post. It's always in the box office. So maybe they just don't want another lawsuit in their hands with, with the, again, without knowing the contracts that they will sign for Shang-Chi, I'm assuming they would have similar contracts that, I want a box office cut. And I don't think they wanted another lawsuit to say, hey, look, you released it straight. You jeopardized my revenue stream. Let's meet in court. So again, without knowing the contracts, it's really, really hard to tell.
Just all hearsay and rumor, innuendo. We don't endorse or have any idea. We're just hearing all this information secondhand and or third, triple hand, multiple thousand hand. Reported in the news type of thing. So it will just be interesting. It's divided the fan base as well. I feel a little bit. There's a lot of people saying, she shouldn't bite the hand that feeds her, and that that is she shouldn't speak up about it. And then there's people like me that think and go, well, if you're got a contract and it's a performance-based contract, then part of that performance is either if you're making money, you've changed the contract. It's not I've changed the contract. You were going to release it, but you've decided to release it in two spaces. Well, then my revenue should flow over to both of those revenue spaces. So it is quite interesting on what people are saying. And sometimes I wonder whether if this was Chris Hemsworth or if this was Chris Evans that had come out and said this, would the backlash be as bad? Is it just because she's a woman that there's the backlash there? Or is it because they think that she's not deserving of the money that she's put all of her blood, sweat, and tears into, type of thing. So it's quite interesting to see both sides.
Look, I'm on the side of contracts, and if again, without having contracts in front of us, so we can't tell if the contract stipulates, for example, she gets 5% of box office and 1% of everything post. And again, I don't know these numbers, so I'm making all of them up. I would be a bit annoyed that if you release both at the same time, my 5% of the box is not going to match post, and I'm going to have a huge drop. And if I would almost guarantee she would have had a good faith discussion initially to go, look, you did this. What can we do to,
You would think so. You wouldn't think that they would just go straight to a lawyer. You think there'd be some dialogue there,
of course,
type of thing. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays. It's very different to, like, you were using Pedro as an example before. It's very different when you've got a contract signed with a streamer. There's like Extraction hasn't been released in films that got released straight to Netflix. So, it's based on how many people watch it in probably the first 3 months or something. Again, I don't know his contract, but that would probably tie into it. So it's interesting that there's these companies that have jumped into these online spaces. I don't even know. There's now another one called Paramount. Paramount
Plus.
And I'm like, there's another one? Seriously? Like, it's getting to a point where people are going back to pirating stuff because there's just so many channels. This was the whole issue. Like, if you look at Spotify, you can get every type of music on one platform. It's like movies and TV. It's really weird that it's kind of like, it's so segregated and so separate that, you know, if you want to watch this show, you have to have Netflix. If you want to watch this show, you have to have Stan. If you want to watch this show, you have to have Foxtel. If you want to watch this show, you have to have Paramount now. Like, it just gets to a point where, like, you can't financially pay for all of these things. What are you going to do? Not that we're endorsing, again, people to pirate stuff, because that is very, very bad. Do not do it. Naughty. But you know, it's very interesting to see what the film industry and TV industry is doing, like, you know, and where it's going to go from here.
The other thing that, again, with all these streaming services, which they're not, I think this is the biggest flaw they're trying to do. They're trying to build their own platform, which, you know, again, all power to them. But you remember the early days of Netflix? Oh, I want to show Disney. I want to show Disney movies. Disney would sell them the content. You know, there were a lot of Disney movies on Netflix and Fox movies on Netflix, for example. They didn't care. They just bought movies. Oh, I want Marvel properties on my channel. Great. You want Daredevil. It's yours, you know, whatever. It allowed them to do it. But I think the biggest thing with all these different streamings, which I don't mind them being there, because they're making each of the sections, they're making really, really good content. But I think the biggest thing, and it's annoying a lot of the fan base, is they're not selling that said content to an aggregator, like a Spotify. If an aggregator says, I want to buy this, it's what I can afford. So if you think about it, let's say we had one day COMICS2MOVIES streaming. You would say, I want to buy all the Star Wars from you, because I want to buy Star Wars from Disney, but I like Star Trek, so I'll buy Star Trek from Paramount, and I'll feed it into my aggregated channel, which is called, you know, COMICS2MOVIES Sci-Fi Extravaganza. Neither of those other services would sell any properties, which I think that's the miss. That's the absolute miss. Not that they're generating content, but they're making the silos. Now, if they sold those properties on, just imagine, you could have, say, Netflix, which still bought everything.
Yeah.
And they sold everything they still had. But by Disney going, you know what? Simpsons will only, because Disney bought Fox, Simpsons will only be shown on Disney Plus, nowhere else. And by shutting all those different bits off, you're actually almost cutting your nose to spite your face. You could still earn money from going to aggregators. I think it's really silly they don't. Like, Spotify is just an aggregator. Spotify there's like a million record companies out there. Spotify just goes, you know what? You put it on my channel, I'll give you 10 cents per song that's played. Yep. Or whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's interesting because you know, when Netflix and Stan and all them first came out, you could watch say, for example, Supernatural was on Netflix, and then it was also on Stan. It's no longer on Netflix, it's only on Stan now, but you could have it on both. But then there was some series where, say, for example, SWAT, which is on Foxtel, the latest season is on Foxtel, but only the first 2 seasons are on Netflix. Yep. So I'm like, that, you know, there where you're like, okay, well, you want that exclusive content, then you sell, you know, 3 of your seasons rather than all of them, and you have it on your own platform for 12 months, 18 months, whatever you want to kind of throw out there, and then on sell it. But you know, when you've got all these old movies, you've got is it Ubi or Tubi? Something like that. But it just has a bunch of different movies from all different like Spotify, all different creating.
I agree with you. I get what you.
Yeah.
But like, you can see Darren's comments there. Look, you make more money from licensing. Just imagine, let's say there were 3 aggregators out there selling content. You could sell the same damn content to all 3 aggregators, because as a subscriber, I'm going to pick the aggregator I like the most, that has the fastest service, has the most majority of shows I like or whatever. But let's just say Supernatural, personal favorite show of mine. You could sell it 3 times. If there's 3 aggregators who decided that Supernatural was key to all its audiences, basically all 3 aggregators would buy Supernatural from you.
And the thing
Imagine
is,
that. And then you could sell it 3 times.
And you can region zone it even on top of that. So you can turn around and say in the UK there's 2 major aggregators, so I'm going to sell it to 2 over there, but Netflix is the biggest in Australia, so you sell it to Netflix in Australia, and then in China there's another one, you sell it to there. It's just, it goes back to almost like the TV broadcasting rights where, Channel 7 was able to get, Friends and Channel 9 was able to get the cricket and, that type of stuff. But, it'll be interesting to see where things go. So, but it's 15 minutes before we end. One thing I do want to do is I want to show this video because it does go for about 3 minutes, and that's because XCT's been going for a while now, and I think the hardest thing when you've had a series that's been going for a little while is getting those new fans on board, those new people on board. So I tasked Nathan with doing like a catch-up video so people could watch this trailer and then be up to date with XCT. So, and I wasn't going to reply to Moira's comment because I'm not going to get to any conventions probably this year, so I'm not even going to give her a response in regards to she's getting to meet them. So, but no, Moira, that's great, and thank you very much for the photo of the 13th Labour T-shirt that you had on as well. So, but yeah, if you can bear with us for 3 minutes, have a look at this premiere video. This is the first place I've shown it. I don't even know whether I've shown you this video, Stephen. Have I shown this one to you?
If you haven't, I'm going to enjoy it. So I'm going to put it full screen and I'm going to enjoy it right now.
There we go. Let's do this.
Born free, I was taken as a slave by the Roman Republic. I led a rebellion that spread across Rome like wildfire. This is where I thought my story ended. I was wrong. Where in Hades am I?
I found you 50 years ago when I was just a boy. I brought you back. Now rest up. Tomorrow, you will fight.
Welcome to round 11 of the Extreme Champion Tournament on Fox Sports.
Are you okay?
There's been an escape! Hey, you big ugly psycho!
Oh, Spartacus, you really did a number on him with that hit.
That man I fought. Did you know him?
He is a nightmare brought to life. He killed my whole family.
Let me give you some advice. Baycock will have 3 Jakkus with him in the arena. He's linked to them telepathically.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are in a state of emergency at KT Arena.
Where's my warrior, Stein?
We should leave now.
I am not a prisoner.
We are at war, Spartacus, and we need your help. You've cloned him before, now bring him back.
And that's it. That is it. And I did see that Moira said it's a shame Liam couldn't narrate it. No, but it was Dan Furigal. If I don't know if you picked up on the voice there, but yes, he was nice enough to lend his voice. So I'm really excited to say that the next book in the series is an anthology called XCT Monsters. It is a bunch of short stories within the XCT universe. Only our Patreon subscribers has seen any of these stories, and I haven't seen all of them. So I'm super excited to get this book out there, and that will be launching later this month. Haven't confirmed an exact date yet, but what I'll do is I'll throw the link in the chat, and if you haven't hit the notify button, hit the notify button for when we go live. So I'll look at making sure we do a live launch again, as I've always enjoyed answering any questions and talking about our new projects when they go live. So, yeah, reaction, Stephen. What did you think? Had you seen that one?
Look, I think I've seen bits of it because I think you showed me. I think it was done in segments, if I remember right. So I remember seeing some of those components, but I've never seen the whole thing strung together. It's wicked. It looks really, really good. I know you're gonna hate this question, but
I am looking into some minifigures. Yes, they seem to be very, very popular. So I'll see what we're able to kind of whip up. So yeah.
Oh look, it looks absolutely amazing. Look, since we've got a few more minutes, like how has the journey of XCT? How's it been for you? I know you've taken it. How many issues are you up to? I know wants to see your next one, but where do you see the next few steps? Because it's exciting. It's actually building your universe. Like I always say with like Terralympus, it's up to like the 3rd volume with planning 6 or 7, but you probably have a whole roadmap for this. So love to hear what you're going to take with this.
Yeah, so Ben and I have had really big discussions. I'm always a firm believer of that the story needs to have a beginning, a middle, and end. So there's really 3 kind of story arcs that we're looking to tell with a definite end in sight. So you know, there's a couple of other opportunities that have kind of snuck up in between this, which was the crossover with the video game company Infinity Heroes, where we're telling a story with the combined universes, and we're actually using that to kind of do a little tweaks in the XCT universe when Spartacus eventually gets back. So you know, in the next 12 months, we've got at least another volume coming out for the main series and another issue with the mini series. And then we've also got a bunch of scripts there ready for probably another anthology after this. So it's really exciting. You know, the anthologies are great because, you know, I get to work with a bunch of different writers. You know, Stephen, you've been kind enough to write another story in this one, and, you know, a bunch of new artists as well, which is really great. This one's fully colored, which is super exciting. The last one we did was black and white, but you know, I'm a sucker for color, so we've gone back to the colors with that. So yeah.
Yep, I think there's a few questions. So this is one of them.
I've never thought about that. I'm going to actually write. I've got a notepad here. I'm actually going to write that down because I think that is actually a really good idea and something that might not be that difficult to actually create. So I haven't thought about it, but something I'll definitely look into now. So yeah,
I'm surprised. Has she cameoed yet or not yet?
I don't think so, Maura. No, I think this is the only series that she hasn't cameoed in, and I don't think we've actually offered it for one or two campaigns.
Yep.
And it's
because
not
she's cameoed in every other series of nearly every series of mine. She's cameoed. So
the one I do like is the draw on your draw into your own cover reward. I really love that, and I've got if I can show this. For issue 1 of the 13th Labor. And I think the main reason why I haven't offered it a lot lately was because with XCT, I'd done a lot of stuff before going to Kickstarter. So, you know, and with it being colored, we weren't adding any extra stuff in. But yeah, I don't have a small file of the. Oh yes, I do. There we go. Now, if I show you this, share screen. There we go. This is the cover that we did as a draw in.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so the two main people in this. So this one is actually a guy called Andrew, and that who's been really kind and that in supporting most of our campaigns lately. And then this is another one of Dave's friends. So I'm thinking about doing like an exclusive cover and getting that done up and doing a very limited run of those covers. So if someone's looking at getting drawn into the XCT universe, we'll do that, and then from there we may look to then do a short story or create a character off them. I think the one exciting thing that we'd done off the first anthology was there was a character called the Hunter, and that was just, you know, a throwaway character that, you know, we kind of come up with and everything, but his design by Alex was so cool that I went back and got told another story about the same character in this next anthology and got Alex to do that as well, because that was that short story was the first time I'd worked with Alex. So I'm super excited to see show that to everyone as well. So
okay, so I'm just gonna have a quick click onto your pre-launch page. If you pop that one back up, and just a gentle reminder, hit the notify button, because then you get notified when it does go live. And I think if I remember on the link that you had, I think it's Ben Sullivan's artwork.
Yes, this has been Ben Sullivan's artwork. So it's really cool. We've got some very, very different artists and designs here. So you know, Ben has done stuff for Decay. He's done stuff for Revere, and now he's done this short story as well about Pegasus. And so you've actually done two stories in this anthology now that I realize. You did this story and you did the werewolf one. So yeah, super excited. Love love his work and the emotion that he's able to bring to the table in regards to telling that story. And I just hope people enjoy some of the shorter stories and these new characters that we're going to introduce, and then how we can use them in the universe moving forward. So
Look, I think it's a really, really cool concept, because it allows you to build up from your central storyline, and also allows you to interact with your central storyline a little bit. I remember, I think Most Wanted, you had the Broken Blade, and again, not spoiling any details if people want to go back and check it. And that's actually referenced, I think, in Breakout, if I remember right.
Correct. Yeah. So
again, watch the links, because there are links. I think that's really, really well done, that you could introduce something from another element. But the thing is, you don't actually need to know what the element is, but if you read the backstory, it gives you that little bit more. It's like, oh gosh, that's a bit more exciting for me because of something that happened in the past.
Yeah, it's been cool because, again, that story was done by Ben Rosenthal, who's been taking over the writing duties for XCT. And it's been good in regards to dealing with him, because he'd written that story. He's a big fan of Masashi Minamoto. So it was interesting, like when he pitched me his idea of where Spartacus' character was going. It was kind of exactly what I was thinking, but I didn't know what characters to use or who I was going to kind of put in place with Spartacus. So he kind of was able to really hone in on what I was thinking, and then take that to the next level. So and being able to sow in those little seeds and that, because he's has done a short story, and then bring that to fruition throughout Breakout, and then now fractured world onto the next issue. So and I've read the first 20 pages of the next issue after we put out this anthology, and it's really good. A little bit more of a backstory of each of the characters. So it's been a lot of action up until now, but we delve into each character, where they're at, what they're working through, and how that's all going to come to a head within the XCT universe.
Awesome. Oh, look, number one, thank you, chat, for always being here. I know we've crossed a little bit on the hour mark. We try to ride a tight ship in terms of the show. But look, thank you so much for joining us as we talk about lots of different topics, always very Star Wars for some reason, but just always seems to happen. And we'll try to make the show a little bit more regular. I know we've had our technical difficulties behind the scenes, but a lot of it hopefully has been worked out. So as we try to get a bit more regular, I hope you guys keep coming back. Tell your friends, hit that subscribe button, and we'll catch you next week. Shaun?
Yes. I'm hoping you probably would have noticed that we've got a more professional look with the channel now, with our backdrop and our little logo down the bottom, and you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Kickstarter, and Instagram, as well as Patreon. But we're going to have a few other things that will be coming up in the upcoming shows. We're super close to 1,000 followers or subscribers. That's our magic number in regards to getting this show to the next level. So if you can share it out, if you think other people would be interested in our show, get them to subscribe. And as always, if you think of a guest or someone you would like us to chat to, shoot us a message, and we would be more than happy to reach out and get some new guests on the show for you as well. But until then, thank you very much, and we will see you again next week.
See ya.